Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to TG Studio Podcast. We are streaming live from our studio. Today, we have a special guest, and of course, we want to welcome our viewers around the world. Please do not forget, we have a very special conversation with a very prominent figure in both legal and, of course, the Nigerian politics. Today's conversation is one that will inspire you, challenge you, and of course, awaken something deep inside you. Our topic today is leadership, courage, and destiny. The untold journey of Barrister Abubakar Yesufu, from campus struggles to national influence. We are streaming live across YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all digital platforms. So share the link now, because you will hear today history, leadership, and destiny coming together. Let me first and foremost introduce a special guest today, the one that I see as a father figure to me. Our guest today is the man whose journey has shaped student leadership, national politics, legal advocacy, patriotic values in Nigeria. He was the former SUG President of the University of Benin, former chairman of Nigerian University Student Union, leading millions of students nationwide. Come from a royal heritage, the Mamudu of Ebede and Onege of Iran. Chairman of the League of Patriotic Lawyers. He was also the former spokesperson of Major Presidential Campaign Council in Nigeria, the NNP Presidential Council, spokesperson for Kwapaso Alaji, His Excellency Alaji Kwapaso. Of course, he also stood alongside legendary legal giants like Gani Fawehinmi, Femi Falana, and defended the late Abiola. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to welcome Barrister Abubakar Yesufu. Sir, it's our honor and privilege for us in this 2D studio hall to be with you today. Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you so much. I'm very humbled to be here. Thank you, and thank you again.
Once again, thank you, sir. I want to introduce Michael, my co-host, by my left, Mr. Michael.
Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you. I'm elated to be here.
Of course, by my right is Marvelous. Marvelous.
Thank you for joining us, sir. We are excited for this conversation.
Thank you so much. I'm intrigued to be with you today.
Thank you, sir. I want to proceed with the main discussion, conversation. One, we're looking at, of course, the origin of your leadership before the spotlight. You lead millions of students nationwide as SUG, the president of UNIBEN and the chairman of the Nigerian University of Student Union. What was the defining moment that awakened leadership in you? And how did that fire begin?
Yes, let me say that I'm very happy to be with the trio this afternoon. And when you want to track the history of student unionism in Nigeria and Africa, it's going to be a very protracted journey. So let me just confine myself to the birth in Nigeria. You know, the first time student movement got impetus in Nigeria was after independence in 1960. Don't forget that Tafawa Balewa could not extricate the country from the first visible legislation, otherwise known as the Nigeria Anglo Defense Pact. where our umbilical cord, defense umbilical cord, so to say, was tied to the apron string of Great Britain, having just secured independence. The students, as it were then, they were annoyed. They marched to the Minister of Internal Affairs, Muhammadu Ribadu, uncle to the President Ribadu, who is now the National Security Advisor. And they lambasted and they lampooned the government of feudalistic Balewa and opportunity seeking. And that obnoxious Anglo Defense Pact. The Anglo Defense Pact was kind of an arrangement in which would have been under the pupillage of Britain. Anytime our external enemies, you put, threatens our existence, the British government will come to our aid. So we wanted to have independence in true meaning. So the students helped in no small measure in repudiating that obnoxious decree. So that was the landmark movement. So when we got to the University of Benin, so I just want to fast forward because of time and space limitation. When we got to the university, when we were year one, we discovered that student politics was commandeered. I say commandeered by students in the medical school, and because of their numerical strength, and because of the very, very, flamboyant status which the medical student had found themselves. And it was only in our set, when I was in year two, that we succeeded in taking the mantle of leadership from the medical students. So thus, I became the first student from the Faculty of Law / Arts to be the student union leader. It was an epic thing, and it was very, very profound and worth mentioning that we had the normal contest with medical students, and we had them defeated. So I emerged as the first student from Faculty of Law to be the president of student union. Before then, I had represented the faculty in the SROC Student Representative Council. So we had excelled there, and we also had our political teams, from the NTA Benin, as it were. We participated in a lot of discussion programs and all that. So we now came to lead the students at an early age. I was other than Maria Yogia Idausa, who is a senior advocate now, who was my public relations officer. I was indeed the youngest man in the executive. And then we had Professor Adamu Beki before Professor Alele Williams, now deceased. Coincidentally, it's worthy of mention that Professor Adamu Beki was a student union leader in ABU. So we were able to float, and we were able to complement ourselves. There was no trouble. We found a level ground, and the students were happy. Like I always tell the students, any successful student union leader should be able to find a reasonable balance between the university administration and the students. As a student union leader, don't forget that you are not just a member of the student disciplinary committee. You're also a member of a student campus welfare board, and at times they make you to sit in Senate as an honorary member. So you are exposed at a very young age to a lot of experience and all that. So we're able to do our best, and we also initiated the birth of NUSA, Nigeria University Students Association, which did not find favor with NANS. NANS felt that it was a big threat to the existence of NANS. But NANS said, no, you had a body catering for the colleges of education, you had a body catering for technological students made of polytechnics, so there should be a body catering for the universities. So we formed NUSA against the expectations against the thinking of the last president. So we had a kind of bitter encounter, and we therefore started to form a level ground so that we'll be able to, fix the business of the day. That is to empower students and all whatnot. So that is it in brief.
Okay, thank you so much. This is very intriguing, and it triggers a lot of memories and thoughts in me. Looking back, from what is going on right now with unionism, NANS, University President, SUG, in different universities in Nigeria. Are you happy with what exactly their practice and their docile situation right now?
Well, I would say it's rather regrettable. We had our taste of the same thing. Don't forget that there's no way you can really divorce national politics from, labor union student politics and even the struggle of us. When I was the president of student union, we had our mentors as, Dr. Tunde Fatunde, who is deceased, then Dr. Festus Iyayi. These were very, very leaders who started from their local union, and they became, national leaders. These were the people that brought us up, and we actually followed their footsteps, and they guided us towards realistic, progressive student unionism until we found our way in the law school and so on and so forth. So I don't blame the youth, because once you are leading the students, you are supposed to be, or you are unfortunately victim of political maneuvers. We also had our own, our own touch of intrusion by the political bickers of the day, but we were able to maneuver it, and we successfully passed the mantle to the next level. But what we have today is unfortunate, whereby people will go to the campuses, beat up student leaders, even influence the university to rusticate student leaders. So it's unfortunate that we do not have that type of independence that we enjoy. As a student union leader in our time, we had a functional secretariat, we had workers, and we had all it takes to be very, very proactive. So what is operating now is a reflection of the very, very ill-gotten wealth of politics and politicians. So we do hope that the students will be able to leave the stranglehold of this in no time.
Right. Thank you so much. But one thing I wanted to ask before we go to the next question of courage in national battle, I wanted to know, was at any point in time, for those young students who are listening to us right now, they will want to know, those who have aspiring to be leaders or to lead others in different strata of life, was any time, have you balanced your unionism, being the president and also in some other organs of university activism with your studies? Was there any time it affected your studies?
Yes. Well, in fairness, I would say we're particularly lucky in University of Benin, because we had Professor Adamu Beki before, the first woman vice chancellor at the Lewis scale. And Adamu Beki was very experienced in student unionism, because he was the president of student union ABU. Then Awojabi, the late Awojabi, the great electrical engineer, who is now deceased from Unilag, was the speaker. So we had these people that really understood the nuances of student power. So I remember the day I was sworn in, I was invited to Beki's house for a dinner. I rebuked and refused him. And he had to come to my class to say, I know what you mean. I do not intend to compromise you. We are from the same family, from the family of student unionism, and come and let's have a talk. So I went to his office with my Secretary General, and Secretary General then was Theophilus Omuka, and Dr. Maria Huguet Dausa. I told us that we have a fruitful stay, and even if I go to student disciplinary committee to represent the students, if there's anything I do not like, because I was just the only member of the student disciplinary committee, I should write a minority report to him, because he had the last say in student discipline and all that. So we were very encouraged. So I said our time was quite different. University of Benin had the fortune of being under the tutelage of Professor Adamu Beki, who is very old now. I understand he's a Kano. I want to find my way there to say kudos, because we had a very fruitful relationship, and we had our times of crisis, and normally the period of crisis is when you say you want to demonstrate. They will say, no, they don't want you to go and demonstrate, because government of the day will think that you have been sponsored, and it's going to be seen as a failure of leadership from the university administration. So we were guided, and we still had our demonstrations, not only in Benin. We came to Lagos to demonstrate, especially when the NITEL, was engulfed in a conflagration. I led the students from Benin, and the University of Lagos also joined us in demonstrating. So that did not bar us, because we had a very, proactive vice chancellor. We also had a very, very successful ASU leaders like Dr. Tunde Fatunde and Dr. Festus Iyai. Unfortunately, they are both late now. And we had a relationship till they died. Even when I was in Lagos, we were still interacting on how to change the status quo.
Barrister, your network is freezing, so we barely hear you. So it's having...
My network is busy.
Freezing.
Is it? Yes. Can you hear me well now?
Much better, but still not yet stable.
Okay.
So
let me see. Can you hear me very well now?
Yes, much better now.
Sure. Yes, I was just saying that we had the fortune of having a very proactive vice chancellor, Professor Adamu Beki, who was himself a student leader at AB, and we also had a very progressive body under the leadership of Dr. Tunde Fatunde and Dr. Festus Iyai, who died in 2013 in a motor accident. So these were all progressive elements that surrounded us, and they were able to lead us into progressive, not necessarily anti-administration, but we had a fruitful state in school.
Wow, fantastic. This is very, very good backgrounds that you have been in trenches with the likes-minded people, leadership and progressive unionism that have really was like a direction, showing direction on leadership from the center. Unfortunately, these days we do not have the crop of you and the other former colleagues. Hopefully, we will have that kind of crop of, because it was something that people aspire to lead because of your doggedness and your, student unionism with policy focus and direction. So those things are no longer what we see these days. But we pray people who are watching and listening to you now can pick courage, those are still in the universities and those who probably want to lead, because that's where the leadership are built, right from the university campuses and the unionisms. But again, those things are fading now. And just like you said in your own words, they have infiltrated the union groups in Nigeria with a lot of influences, negative influences, not positive one. But hopefully things will get better. Yeah, so I'm yield to my colleague, my co-host, Michael, who courage in national battle. So over to you, Michael.
Okay, thank you very much, Barrister Abubakar. And you stood alongside icons like Gani, Fawehinmi, Femi, Falana, and defended MP Abiola at one of the most sensitive moments in Nigeria's history.
That's right.
What did that experience teach you about power, justice, and price of speaking truth?
Yeah. Well, let me quickly say that Gani was like a mentor. Even right from the university, we were excited about his pro bono cases, which he prosecuted without taking one kobo. Virtually all the students' matters, he prosecuted them even before I entered the university. He was an icon. He was a beacon of hope. He was a mentor. Yes. Falana too was our senior in school. He was also a senior and a very consistent and power base behind the continuous existence of NANS. He started his activism in Ife and brought it all to Lagos, and it has not ceased to exist there. The most epic case I can remember where we featured before we disengaged to the United States was perhaps during the June 12th crisis, the famous case of the Supreme Court judges. This was a Concord Press. you know, when that June 12th was annulled, the Supreme Court, Concord carried a story that Babangida Astwe had given a Mercedes-Benz to Supreme Court judges, and that the matter is pursuing, that is the criminal annulment of his mandate, will end up in the office or in the court of the Supreme Court judges, that he will not get justice. So the Supreme Court judges were hyped, and they dragged Abiola to court. So we had 27 lawyers. Femi, Gani Fawehinmi led us. It was before. I can't remember that judge. Now he's also deceased. And whilst that matter was going on, you know, there were a lot of issues raised. And whilst we were prosecuting that matter, you know, they wanted a political solution to that case. You know, a lot of people also confused the holder of that mandate, MK Abiola. He came and surreptitiously withdrew the matter from court. You know, so the matter did not really see the end of it, and the matter was withdrawn from court because he thought that they were going to legitimize or they were to de-annul June 12th. He didn't want anything that would derogate from the matter, so it ended. Suffice it to say that Rotimi Williams led a team of about 5 senior advocates of Nigeria to the place and to the court, one of the high courts here in Ikeja, and it went on for a while until the petitioner, that's the MK Abiola, came and voluntarily asked us to step down, that he's looking at the possibility of finding a political solution to his mandate. So that was epic, you know, and many others that, but to be contained in the book we are working on. You know, once it comes out, it becomes manifest. We let you have a copy and you start.
That would be very awesome. Any follow-up question?
Yes, sir. Sir, as of today, sir, do you think judiciary today has actually improved in respecting freedom of expression, or, you know, are we worse off? What do you believe should change? You know,
let me say here and now that I'm not just a civil rights crusader. I'm also a very senior member of the bar, and I would not want to be a party to indicting the judiciary publicly. If I have any, you know, any distinction about the judiciary, I know the areas and the avenues to let it go. But so to say, the judiciary is not experiencing the best of times. There are some very, very tyrannical judgments that you cannot sustain. And there are also very brilliant judges that are still trying to give judgments that would enhance the rule of law, individual liberty, and democracy. So it's not only the judiciary that is acting, that is not acting to expectation. You have the legislature that refuses to act as the watchdog over the executive, and there's also the executive that is also living a very stateful outing. So in this type of situation, the common man, the kit and kin and what have you, we are at a loss and we're at a discount. So we do hope that the judiciary will live up to its bidding. The way the judiciary is now, I don't think we're experiencing the best of times. Judges like Otutu Obaseki, who is now deceased, Oputa, Kayode Eshon, to name but a few, I think they will cringe in their graves if they see some very despicable and shameful judgments that are being shown out from our temple of justice. But there are some very good judges. We must also give kudos to them that they are trying within their limited confinements and limited resources to keep the flag afloat.
Fantastic. But looking at, I think it was former President Buhari, may he so rest in peace, that restored MK Abiola as the winner of that election. Of course, he was an obvious who won that election that was annulled. So, having considered that he has been given that status as a former president who never governed or who never ruled. And then every other things that goes with that office was restored back to him. So how do you feel? Do you still feel pained? Or do you think that could bring a succor to some of you who were in trenches, and you with other legal luminaries that were on the forefront of fighting for his restoration of his mandate? So how do you feel?
Well, I feel elated that after all the secret mandate has been recognized, and I also feel very, very, very depressed that it took a very long time before this nation was able to realize that Abiola won that election. Abiola did not only defeat his contestants, he defeated it as Bashitofa. He defeated in his native Kano state, to his village. He defeated Bashitofa even in Tofa. So it was a mandate that was brilliant. We had no glitches. There was no demonstration. And indeed, Tofa was at the verge of congratulating Abiola when the Hawks in a NROC stopped him. So it was a brilliant election, the most successful election, the most transparent election we have ever had in this country. So I'm both happy, and I'm also not happy. Happy in the sense that the truth has been told, and unhappy that the mandate owner is no longer here to realize his mandate and bring forth his manifesto to fruition.
Again, something came to my mind. Professor Wu, the late INEC chairman, who conducted that election. In your mind, would you, if you are in his position, would you have announced that result?
Well, I don't think, that was a slip of tongue on your part. It was not Professor Ewu. It was the other, I forgot, he just died last year or so.
Yes. I'm trying to remember his name.
Yes.
Pardon me for that word. I will get his name as you go on with this discussion.
Yes. Well, he was a victim of circumstance. I understand that he was even physically assaulted by Halilu Akilu, because he actually went further to announce it before it was annulled. So it was a brigandage at its lowest ebb, and we cannot but look at it with a sinister feelings. So that's a blight on our history, and it keeps reminding us of how low the military can also descend in matters of democratic credentials. So as soon as we remember the name, I would make it known to you.
The network is
Professor Wosu was a brilliant academician.
Yes.
But when they came to really significantly, all he ought to have done was to announce it, and maybe let the worst happen. He was not able to do this. He chickened out, and there was a time he said he wanted to come and announce the election. He ended up telling the world that it was no victor, no vanquish, that there was no result. So it became a footnote,
exactly.
in the annals of history. So that's what we are saying. It's either you want to belong to the visible page of history that endured forever, or you want to belong to the footnote. I think, in my opinion, Wosu belongs to the footnote, because he was not having enough courage or enough balls to damn the consequence and announce the result. But I wonder whether this people would have been able to do it. Here is the same David Mark, who threatened to shoot the winner of the election, Abiola, if that had been announced. So we had a lot of forces that worked against him, and Wosu was actually a liability to June 12th.
Wow, it was. Thank you for that correction, Prof.
Thank you so much.
Humphrey Wosu. It was the former person who conducted that particular election, one of the fairest elections we ever had in the history of Nigeria. And we are proud of you, sir, for the efforts and risking your life with your team to fight a good fight. It was a good fight. But you are vindicated by that elite Buhari who acknowledged that election. Of course, the world has acknowledged it, and the history will not forget it.
Yes.
They will be with you, and they are colleagues. So now we are going to be shifting your mind to royalty and responsibility and personal identity. Marvelous will be taking you on that. Over to you, Marvelous. So Marvelous will be taking you on that area of your royal lineage and all that responsibility and personal identity.
Okay, sir. You come from a royal bloodline. So the Momodu of Agbede and the Oloje of Irua, how has royalty shaped your values, your discipline, and the way you see leadership?
Well, yeah, that is true. Yes. My mother is from the royal family of the Momodu of Irua, and Onoji of Irua, and my father is from the royal family of Momodu of Agbede. You know, there's a war between Agbede and Irua. So both sides, I'm the prince. So royalty really has a role to play. And let me suffice it to say that I'm also a chief in Igwebe. Although I'm not from Igwebe, the king of Igwebe, may his reign be peaceful, may he live long, found me necessary, or found me notable to be honored as the elephant of the kingdom, Ogieneni of Igwebe land. You know, so these are our royal streak to our march towards efforts to remove the country from the doldrums of defeatism to that of victory. You know, but we are still there. We are still trying to trudge along, and I will not say all is lost until we end it. We cannot say vavite. That's why we are times we call on all and sundry, including you, the fourth estate of the realm, the press, to be part of the struggle. Because I remember what Francis Fanon, born in 1923, he died in 1961. He was actually a French national, but he joined the Nigerians to fight against the French during the War of Independence. He said that the future, that is history, we have no place. We will not forgive anybody who possessing the exceptional privilege of being able to speak words of truth to their oppressors, but they are taking refuge in an attitude of passivity, mute indifference, and even sometimes of cold complexity. When we have this type of battle ahead, you really do not need to flaunt your royal identities. All you need to flaunt is what's the cerebral, your intelligence, quotient, and all that. But those of us that were taught to fight, not with the bullet of the soldier, but the pillars of the intellect, we do know that.
Yes, we lost our guest due to network freezing on his side. We hope to reconnect him. Michael, looking at the analysis and all the analogies, being the person who was in trenches with other colleagues, especially the late MP Abiola, the potential winner of that particular election, and then sharing his experience, first-hand experience, not by the side. He was practically involved, from active unionism to becoming a lawyer, not in the inner bar, not just a lawyer, but the one who participated in politics and also in legal, activism. So, what do you make of looking to Nigeria youth, we the youth of Nigeria, the role we are playing now in shaping governance, in making sure that those who in the position of authority will do not compromise, either for the pot of a porridge to the detriment of the future of the country. So what's your thought on that? Why we wait for him to join?
Yes, what I think is, the youth of nowadays, as we, as the future leaders of tomorrow, we just have to be bold enough to speak where we see something that is not right.
Yes.
And it starts from all of us.
Yes.
Me, you, and everybody. So, and it starts from our family. So,
yes,
we need to start correcting things,
yes,
that we see,
yes,
within our environment.
Yes. Yes.
So, and start, before we get to the point of be a leader.
Yes.
Start from the point.
Exactly.
So while doing that, so you develop yourself and you know, look at the background of Barrister Abubakar.
Yes.
He started from student leadership.
Yes.
That has shaped him.
Yes.
And also motivated him to
Yes.
become what he is today, because being a leader
Yes.
at that age,
Yes.
at that time,
Yes.
has influenced his life positively. From even his biography, we
Yes,
see
exactly.
all the cases he has actually handled, participated, and now become a leader.
Yes.
So those things are actually shaping
Right.
his life story
Yes.
to become what he is today. So now, to we youth, we need to stand for ourselves
Exactly.
and stand for justice.
Exactly.
Seeing what is not right, speak
Yeah.
against it, and by the nearest future, it will help us to neutralize all the corruption
Yes.
and every other thing that is happening
Yes.
in the country.
Yes. I think he's back. He joined us. We're happy to have him. Special guest, Barrister Abubakar Yesufu, the former spokesperson of NNP. His Excellency Alaji Kwakwaso, during the 2023 presidential election. We're happy to have you back again. So we were just looking at some of the line of thoughts and some of the experiences you've had. We are looking at that, trying to connect it with your royal lineage, and also the person that Marvelous asked you. If you still continue with your line of thought before the network disruption. Thank you, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir. We can hear you.
On mute. We can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, fantastic. Did you hear what I said?
Yes, I think I got it now. You said I should continue with my thought before that glitch. I sincerely apologize for the technical glitch. It was not the INEC glitch, it was the communication glitch, not the INEC glitch. Yes, I think we have come to the irresistible conclusion that all hands must be on deck if we are to rescue this country from the abyss of destruction in which it's dangerously poised. Everybody must have a say. You must be able to participate in the political process, no matter how demeaning, no matter how suffocating. Because the penalty for not participating is that you'll be governed by idiots. So by the time you stay back and you allow idiots to take position, you don't need to complain when you get the results. But unfortunately, most of the political parties, I think I've heard you talking about NNPP, most of the political parties, they don't allow past the leaders because they believe we are irritants. They believe we are not worthy to be sustained. You can see how the entire system is treating Showore. Showore was the former president of Student Union University of Lagos. He had his own political party, and they are teaching even the entire government. They are treating him with disdain. So they not up to 0.1% of our past senior leaders. They have found themselves in the government or governance because they think we are too obtrusive, we are too demanding, and they will not want us to be part and parcel of government and governance. So we keep encouraging them. That's why I found myself in a NNPP. Because I actually sat back and I checked out all the credentials of the political parties. I decided to stay with Dr. Musa Rabiu Kwankwaso, who is the presidential candidate and our hopeful and our leader, as it were, and up to now. So we are trudging on, no matter who source is God. So we are still there, and we are still trying to forge ahead.
Right. In follow-up to that question, politics, pressure, and purpose, you served that. Let's dig more on your role as the mouthpiece of that NNP for a major presidential campaign. What do people not understood about political leadership, and how can young Nigerians watching you and following up with the trends of politics without losing themselves? What do you think? And a quick follow-up again is, are you still with His Excellency Alhaji Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso? Are you still with him, the former presidential candidate in 2023?
Yes. 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 You see, the NNPP is not just a party. The NNPP is a way of life. You know, when you are in the NNPP, it reminds you of the credentials of a student leader. For you to be the president, for you to win an election in student politics, all you need is to really excel during your manifesto and your.
We have facing the same freezing of the network. So this is like freezing your thoughts. Maybe it might be better now. You can.
Okay, can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
We're still experiencing that.
Hello.
Maybe while you continue with your line of thoughts. So what I was trying to get, having some freezing.
Sorry, say that again. Are you hearing me now? It's freezing.
I think it's network.
It must be the network. Because it's.
No, I'm watching it live there. I was
Can we
watching
change
from my phone. Let me try this.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me now? I can't even hear them again. Can you hear them?
From their end, sir.
From their end? It's not here. Hello? 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 From there. You're not hearing them. Is there any way you can? They're not coming on at all.
Maybe you call them
Like
from
what?
their end.
From the poor network, freezing of the network. We had a little bit glitches, but we're back right now. The audience around the world who are watching, please do not forget to subscribe, like, of course, comment, and share this live broadcast as we continue with this important conversation with one of the players of the MKO Abiola's MKO Abiola's, pardon me for chopping the word. So we believe you have gained a lot of foresight, and of course, we have our guests whom we're waiting to rejoin us back as we continue with the conversation. Thank you, sir, for your patience. We appreciate your time. We had a very glitches, like you said, it's not from INEC. Not INEC glitches, but technical glitches. But we are back. Can I just refresh your mind? So I was saying regarding your boss, your former boss, the presidential flag bearer, NP. So I like Rabio Musa Kwapanso. Are you still with him as we approach 2027?
Of course. Doctor, he prefers the soft, he prefers the title doctor to Alhaji, because the doctor is not honorary. The doctor is well earned in the academic circle. So Dr. Musa Rabi Kwankwaso remains my leader, and Dr. Buba Galadima, my mentor. So we are trudging on. I'm sure you have been inundated with a series of distractions and all that. We are not shocked. We are not taking in, because the power that be, they want to ensure that our party is totally depleted before 2027. But they do not know that we stand for peace, we stand for our ideology, and we stand for the progress of this country. And from this big mountain of despair, Dr. Musa Rabi Kwankwaso and his NNPP wants to carve out a tunnel of hope. No matter how disappointed some of our followers who cannot really stand the heat of the opposition, they have become to the giant quote APC, but we are resolute, and our motto is not in any way diminished, and our goal remains to take the power from the recalcitrant APC and give it back to the people, wherein we were able to really realize our objective of taking back peacefully the reins of government. We say it and we mean it.
Right. I can see from your personality and history, I think whatever you said, you meant it. And then I'm looking at even in the Kanu state, where NNP is the present governor, His Excellency. And then, of course, the home of your leader, the NNP former presidential candidates. So they're infiltrating your rank. They're infiltrating the ranks of political parties, especially the opposition political parties. And they are waging a warfare against the opposition. So hopefully we will still have some who will still rebel till 2027. Because if you read from the strategy they have adopted, is to make sure you weaken all the forefront.
Yes. It's mute. That is complete? No, it's not around there.
It's there. It's from there. I think they said they're having network glitch.
Okay, so over to you, sir. What the question I put to you concerning the political atmosphere that is so toxic, and no more playing policies by the rules that have been abandoned. So what do you think before 2027?
Well, we are still watching, and we are talking to ourselves, those who are really the committed members of the Kwankwasia movement, because that's the ideological plank that drives the NNPP. And you see, most of them that are the company quote, they came because they wanted where they will be able to buy the leadership of Kwankwaso over. It's not over yet until it is over. They have not stopped there. They are even trying to undermine the emirship of Dr. Sanusi, Lamido Sanusi. It does not even end there. They are trying to, by all means, take over even the government of Kano State. Don't forget that only Kano State, we can boast of about 8 million votes, the highest in the country.
Exactly.
So whatever Yes, the highest in the country by INEC's own definition. So they're scared because that's why we are very reluctant in joining any political party. We are still planning. We are still ideological, very, very savvy, and we are still very, very relevant. If we join any political party, then that political party will be strolling to victory. If we refuse to join any political party, then it will be a very, very big hole in any successful outing by political party. That's why we are not ready to sell our vote or to sell our political party for a morsel of bread. So let them go. They will also come back. We are aware that we will suffer a lot of pangs. We will suffer a lot of name calling, like Jesus Christ. But I am going to tell you one thing today, that like Jesus Christ, we are going to come out victorious. Christ, that you know, suffered a lot of problems. But let me reassure you that Garden of Gethsemane will be conquered. Calvary will be taken over. And after then will come the glorious dawn. Dr. Musa Rabi Kwankwaso is not a battle turnaround. Dr. Buba Galadima is still very, very significant. Take Dr. Buba Galadima, for example. It was one of the closest parts to Buhari. So when late Buhari was derailing, he did not stop. He stopped talking to Buhari and he stopped relating with him. And he told him to his face that you are not doing right. The last place they met was in Saudi Arabia. Buhari was so frantic, he wanted to settle his cause with Buba Galadima. Buba Galadima said, no, I cannot reconcile with you in the Holy Land. For you have betrayed the people in Nigeria. Go back to Nigeria and settle with them. So those are the type of people that are in NNPP. So how can you buy such a man, you know, with a poisoning chalice? It's not possible. It's not possible. So we are watching their intention with study silence, and we'll continue to trudge along, and until we reach the Eldorado. The Eldorado is total takeover of Aso Rock. I keep saying that we say this and we mean it.
Right. We need people like you who are principled in life and I've known you for many years.
Thank you so much.
You stood with a very principled personality.
Thank you.
So Michael has something to chip in around politics. The Nigerian state appears to be surrounded. Michael,
thank you very much, Barrister Abubakar. Going into the Nigerian situation as of now, the Nigerian state appears to be surrounded by bandits and hostile terrorists. So, as a respected legal practitioner in Nigeria, how do we, what do you think? How do you see it? And what do you think? How do we get here? And how can this be resolved?
Yes, the bandit question is quite unfortunate and shameful. Yes. Don't forget that we have actually tolerated this banditry for a very long time, and this bandit made up of the Fulani headsmen, the ISWAP, the ISIS, the Lakawura, and what have you. We have dedicated soldiers that will be able to clear the bushes even within a short time. But it's unfortunate that they are not even motivated. Look at the police system too. If you go to any police station, indeed you will say you will indeed weep for the country. Let me tell you that there's no functional police station in Nigeria. Most of the inmates you have there, they are self-feed, they don't even feed them. So what moral justification do you even have, let alone legal, for keeping somebody in custody when you don't feed safe? But we must also isolate some the agency like the DSS. I must say that they have done extremely well in this fight against insurgency. But it's unfortunate that their role is sometimes underplayed. I think let me pay a glowing tribute to the Director General Ajayi, like the present arrest of the Asaru brothers who are facing trial now. I think they should be well motivated. And when we discovered this, we went through some formations, some TSS formations in the country. We discovered that they are well organized. Feel like we can stand side by side even with the FBI. We started from Lagos with his head. I was able to interact with the head, and they are well organized and they are very civil in their operations. So I think the country should try and organize and encourage the body like the DSS, because they do most of the intelligence work. That is the truth, and they give them to the soldiers. At times the soldiers they do not want to carry out their functions. I was pleasantly surprised when I visited about 5 formations of the DSS in the country. But before now, I was seeing them as a dungeon, as a haven for killers, especially when Kudirat Abiola was taken out. But that is not true. They are so civil. Like the head of the Lagos branch, I spent about 30 minutes with him, obeyed, completely destabilized, and what I went to do was granted. My client was detained for a while, and that client turns out to be the mother of a suspect. The man was so furious. The head there was so furious. He released the woman to me with apologies. Those are the type of civil interactions we are facing. So let us invest money in buying weapons. Let us also invest money in intelligence. Let them increase the budget. Let them increase the manpower of DSS. And over and above that, if we cannot compete favorably, like the option of Buba Galadima, let us resort to hiring foreign mercenaries. Jonathan did this by hiring some foreign mercenaries from South Africa. Even America, they used to hire foreign mercenaries like Blackwaters to do some of their biddings. Even Russia, they have the Wagner group that they used to hire. Exactly. When we have problems in the same Northeast, Jonathan went to South Africa, and they came here with just chopper and some laptop, not more than 10 people. All they do is that they will just check out where those devilish militants are congregating, terrorists are congregating. They go there with their chopper, they see their type of ambition, and they take them out. We can still do this. It's not a shame, except they are trying to say that the entire thing has been monetized. That's why they don't want to use foreign fighters.
I think that's on the line of that your thought. I think that's what exactly people are seeing now, that it has been monetized. So it goes beyond what we're looking at. Because, and also there are some other groups that have of the view that the security agencies, they're not working in synergy. They're not sharing intelligence. So they are working across. So what do you think about that? Based on the fact, because there are information you have and there are privileges that you have, because just like you use instances of your client who was wrongly detained and an offer of apology was given by the director. But there are some exactly. There are some of people who do not have such privileges. The common people in the society.
I think we should extend. We should extend the mandate of the DSS, because after they have done their investigations, they normally go back, I think, to the soldiers to carry out. If we can extend their mandate to include attacking, that is, when they have done their investigation, that period of going to inform the army to go and dislodge the terrorists is long enough. Let us improve on their mandate to include not only intelligence, but also to attack and extinguish the terrorists. They have enough intelligence, and I think they have enough gadgets that they can also take out. That is to say, we are not, if we say we don't want to get foreign mercenaries, well, if we are going to get foreign mercenaries, I think the DSS, which I think is very, very up to date in intelligence gathering and all that. Most of the militants, most of the kidnappers, so to say, that we have arrested, I'll say 90% of the kidnappers, they've been gotten because of the hard work of the DSS, not even the police, not the army. So such a body should be encouraged, and not in more pretensions.
Yes, that is a very good explanatory and insight to us. So we want to also look at the national, some legal angle to the sentencing of the leader of IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. So what do you have to say from the trial to the life imprisonment sentence handed over to him by
the illegal rendition of Kanu Wankwo from Kenya to Nigeria makes the whole trial a nullity, in my own view. And the trial itself is also a nullity. The judgment has been given, so I'm entitled to even say what I think about the judgment. You know, so even if he still has he should have his way in the apex court of appeal and the apex court. I think they have finished court of appeal. They are still on it. I don't know. So I think this is an albatross on Tinubu's neck. I call on Tinubu to try as much as possible to pardon Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is a man that represents the idea of, how do I put it now? The idea of a new Nigeria, the idea of the Igbo man, the idea of progressive thinking. That is why most people there, the leaders, they did it to Abiola. When Abiola was in Gulag, some people from the Southwest went to tell Babangida that don't leave this man because they were scared of his towering height. The same thing in Southeast. They are also saying openly that this man has caused a lot of bitterness in the Southeast. He should not be released. You want to kill the young man. I tell you today, in a free and fair election in the whole of Southeast, there's nobody that can defeat that man. Such a man should be treated with caution and respect. Such a man, I think, will do and will contribute in no small measure in giving us a better Southeast-made Nigeria. Any day, day by day, the man spends in custody, he stands to grow taller than everybody combined, especially the leaders in the Southeast. No matter what they say or no matter what they do, Nnamdi Kanu is going to come out victorious. So I advise Tinubu to cut the friendship of Tinubu as opposed to those shenanigans they are weaving around him, especially the leaders. It's not new. They did the same thing to Abiola, but definitely Nnamdi Kanu will not die in jail. He will not only come out, he's going to emerge victorious.
Right. Just like you said, is a progressive thinking freedom fighter. And of course, but based on the Nigeria law, and also you being a lawyer of repute, does he have a chance of in the appeal court to overturn that judgment?
You see, the position of the law is very criminal jurisprudence is very clear. You see, the judgment, the judge itself was, I think, in my opinion, by the time Unadu said he would not have he does not need a lawyer, I think he ought to have been given one by the state, no matter how, or no matter how bad, because the punishment is death. When you are facing a death penalty, you are not supposed to defend yourself. Although he tried to give kind of one a lawyer, he declined. But he ought to have given him a lawyer all the same. I didn't follow the procedure. I cannot really say, or I didn't see when he actually God or asked one to take a state counsel for his defense. That's a very big loophole. If you are facing death, it's either you are going to be defended by a lawyer or the state will impose one on you. Like it's a technical thing when you are defending yourself, and a non-lawyer will not be able to do it well. So I think there's going to be a chance in this appeal. But the overall thing is that it lies on President Tinubu to really give him amnesty or pardon as it stands. And I will look forward to Tinubu allowing Wako to go home. The day they are going to announce that, I will personally be in Abia State to welcome that hero of our struggle.
That would be very awesome. It's all the prayer and the hope of everyone. I hope our dear president is listening. Probably some of his close allies are listening to your advice and do what you have suggested, which will be a healing one, not only for the Southeast, but also for the entire nation. And I want to give marvelous for the message for young Nigerians across the world. So you take up on that as we wrap up this conversation.
So if you have just 60 seconds to speak to every young Nigerian, home and abroad, about hope and destiny, and taking responsibility for the future, what would you say?
Oh, I would say that our leader says it is the cause of the snakes. If all snakes live together, Who would they approach them? But they leave one unto itself and easily pray the fall to man. We should all come together and give the status quo a very big fight. When I say fight, I'm not talking about changing the judicial table with anything very brutal. I'm only saying that we should come together and ensure that we form a political group that can push out the party APC so that we form an understanding or a group that will take over Aso Rock so that our own policy will manifest. So I'm calling on everybody to come and take side with NMDP, the party of the people, so that we'll be able to realize this vision of making APC a story for the other day. Thank you. We said this and we are very serious about it. Go and register your word for NMDP and come and join us in the struggle of making our dream a bigger Nigeria for you and for me and for all our country, both in diaspora and even here.
Right. You have heard this audience all around the world, especially, yes, Nigerians who are watching, the youth, the young ones. You hear from Barrister Abubakar Yesufu, one of the legal luminaries that stood together to defend the mandate of late MKO Abiola. So I also want to thank you, sir, and also looking at their life and then the public. What does people that have known you, myself inclusive, and those who are watching you for the first time here, those who are watching you live? So what is those things that you've not, they're not aware about you that you could like to share today as we wrap up this conversation?
Well, I'm a humble, struggling lawyer from a family of about 6 lawyers. We are 6 in the family, the same father and mother. Right. But the only family I think that has that type of reputation, and we are all descendants of a suffering people. We are descendants of a people, and we are determined to suffer no longer. We are going to use the instrumentality of the law. We are going to also need to come back to our people to mobilize. So I think that is the message I have for the people, that will continue to fight on, not with the bullets of a soldier, but the pillars of the intellect. Till we reach the Eldorado. The Eldorado is a country where no man is oppressed.
Thank you so much. With that thought, so we come to the end of this podcast. It's been a wonderful one. So I want to thank you, sir, for your support over the years, especially in our little business. We are grateful, and most of them have seen you for the first time. Thank you so much. And we also want to thank you for listeners around the world, in Nigeria, Africa, Europe, US, and Canada, global community. I want to thank you for joining the episode of the Studio Hub podcast with Barrister Abubakar Yesufu. Thank you so much and have a good day. Do not forget to share, like, comment, and join our YouTube. Thank you, sir. God bless you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Have a good day.
And you too.